Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Neville and welcome to Selective Imagery. I started taking pictures when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I really shoot just about everything. And here's some samples of what I take, whether it be sunrises, alligators, birds. It's what I do a lot of right now. But I also do macro. I'll do small animals, and I'll do street photography, and I'll use my old cameras to take some black and white photos with. So here's a sample of one of my cameras coming up. So I'm a generalist, but right now I'm focused a lot on wildlife and birds in particular. So I hope you enjoy my channel, and let's get right to the show. Welcome to Stills and Video with the Z9, Z100-400, the 500 PF, and the 1.4x Tele converter. We start off in a place called the Marsh Walk, which is in Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, where we run across this ring-billed gull and then watch the boats leave to go out to the ocean fishing as the sun starts to rise. Eventually, the boats are crossing the path of the sunlight, heading out to sea. Now you turn around, and on this marsh walk, you see restaurants. You see places where you can rent jet skis and canoes, kayaks, things of that nature. We were looking for oyster catchers, which we see right here, the one mating pair, walking along the crushed and broken up pieces of oyster. Here's another view as the sun hits it slightly now that it's coming up. And there's where you can, rent some boats. And FYI, you can charter a fishing boat from here as well. We move on to Huntington Beach State Park, where a green heron vocalizes at me. A yellow-crowned night heron, followed by a black-crowned night heron. Several pictures of that. They're the more common of the two. Here we have an Anhinga and the red-winged Blackbird, who's always Mr. Reliable, is always there every day. I mean, pretty much the only bird that you could say is very consistent and very friendly. It'll let you get close to it, and they're kind of used to people. Then we move on to a different part of the park where we have a little blue heron. A fog rolled in. You can barely see the birds, and I love this picture because it almost looks like a painting. I used dehaze to get rid of some of the fog, and that was the end result. Seagull comes flying at me. And we have a small gull in here with the streaks of orange hitting it. Here's a few pictures of the female red-winged blackbird. And of course an Anhinga, followed by a quick video. A little jumpy, but hey, that's how it is sometimes. I could say it's because I don't have the right equipment, or I can admit it and just say sometimes I'm lazy and I handhold, and I probably should put it on my gimbal. I just love the color around the eye, and there's a red-winged blackbird sharing the other post on this rice trunk. One doesn't really bother the other. As you'll see in the end of this video, this ended up being a surprising day for me and my friend Bob from Bob Our Photos, and please check out his channel when you get a chance. All of us little guys would appreciate the support. Here's a few more pictures of the female red-winged blackbird. Now it's interesting, if you could look at the lower part of the bill, it's like split in half. I never noticed that before. It's not like the male where the bottom and the top are the same. And here's a barn swallow. Usually they don't sit down long enough for a picture. And here's some more pictures of the little blue heron. I always love backlit subjects or side-lit subjects. I just really think it, on a white bird, it just really makes a difference. And here's the snowy, just walking around, feeding. It's low tide, there's a little area of water, and it's getting some extremely small fish or bugs. You can hardly see what it gets into its mouth. Everything is so small. And this is 4K 120. This is slowed down 50%. The next video you see with this bird in it will not be slowed down at all, so you'll see it at regular speed. And then as I move away from this bird, I run into a tricolored heron. Now, for whatever reason, normally the snowy is very territorial, will go after other birds. And although it's not in this video clip, there were moments in time during the day where this tricolor heron actually aggravated the snowy and went after the snowy. So the tables were turned on this particular day, but typically it is the other way around. And we have an upcoming one more backlit photograph followed by another video. Like I said, this is at full speed. I just love that light. I mean, there's only a brief moment in time where you get that halo effect, and then the sun eventually gets overpowering and the whole bird gets blown out. Now here's a series of shots of a willet that's found a crab. And in the previous shot, it had dipped it and rinsed it off in the water, and now it's walking away from any potential competitors for the food. And like most birds, it will tear the legs off and eventually eat the body. But what's interesting is as it tears the legs off, it eats the legs and then will eat the body. Whereas other birds will tear off the legs, just drop them in the water, eat the body, and then go back and eat the legs. Here's a great blue heron. And hey, we had an osprey appearance for a brief amount of time. The great blue heron is landing in the extreme low water levels in the pond. And this is on the Marsh side early in the morning. This is just a quick scan just so you can see what it looks like at low tide. And eventually you run across the small shorebirds. And they're a little ways out, but as the tide starts to come in, I mean, birds, you'll see them way out in the distance, and as the food supply starts to come back in with the tide, the birds start moving in because, you know, they're following the food. Now upcoming, you're going to see a series of shots of an osprey catching a fish, which we don't see that often anymore, and the fish unfortunately aren't overly large. That's a fish head you see in front of the wing. And here he or she takes off with it. And that's a pretty tight crop. It was pretty far away. Tricolor heron. You can see all the growth of algae or whatever blooming. And this is what made my day. Ran across a fox. Saw it running into the woods while we were pulling into the parking area as I yelled to my friend as he had his window down. And I said, "There's a fox." So we pull into the parking spaces. He shot from his car. I had to get out to get my camera in the back of the vehicle. And we stayed very far away from it. We didn't want to spook it. And it kind of did peekaboo with us through the grasses. It would lift up its head, standing on something, look at us, give us a glance, and it would go digging like it was trying to, find some food. And then it would look at us again. So this is the last picture. So I hope you liked this video. We had a great time with the fox. I've seen them before, but have never had an opportunity to actually catch an image of them. So I was very, very happy this day. And also, we got lucky with the Osprey getting the fish. And unfortunately, there's not any big ones in there anymore. But you take what you get, right? So as I say, enjoy life, capture some of it. Until next time, everybody get out there and shoot and have a good time and share with your friends. See you later. Bye.